Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Almost every race season, I cut my season into two halves. Regardless of what I focus on each of the halves, between the halves, I'm working on my base again. Because of the timing and the length of the season, it won't be that same multi-month build session that goes on pre-season. This will usually take about 4 to 6, maybe 8 weeks, and toward the end of that 8 weeks, I will already have been refining my form for the second half. So, what am I doing in each of the halves? Well, that varies each year. Usually, I'm racing in the first half, and in the second half, I may do some racing, but I may also do some longer endurance events as well. Even though I'm doing my base building now, I can't let the high intensity and speed that I've built up drop back down to zero, especially because I'm an old guy. Once a week, I do some sort of speed work. And usually at this time of the year, rather than go off by myself in a stopwatch, I'm riding with a fast group ride 6 a.m. Tuesday or Thursday mornings. And what you're watching now is one such ride. We're just passing the small town of Friant, where we're starting our KOM to the turnaround point. Because I started my base building session 6 days ago, where I started off with big gear work on an 8-mile climb, and 2 days later I followed up with 70 miles and 9,000 feet of climbing, followed by 80 miles of flats, I wasn't sure if the 2 days rest was going to give me enough time to recover for this ride. I figured I was going to be thrashed by these guys and then spit out. But the monsters of the Midway didn't show up, and only 2 members of the Goon Squad were there, so I had a chance. Speaking of the Goon Squad, one of its members, the Chosen One, makes a move to the front. I move to jump on his wheel, but the previous work that I've done and the fact that he's 20 pounds lighter than me, I decide to back off a little bit just so I can have a chance at lasting. The accountant goes past me, and so I grab his wheel for a bit. Fast forward 15 seconds, and we'll see what happens when someone is stronger than me and 10 pounds lighter than me. As I try to minimize my losses, the Colonel goes past me, and I try to grab his wheel. Another difficult endeavor. He's 30 pounds lighter than I am. So even though I got dropped, I didn't try to go in the red line to stay with them, even though I did push it a bit. I'm still outputting over 300 watts. But there's other people pushing big watts as well. The newspaper man flies past me. Because of his schedule, most of his training is going on now. He got strong fast. It took a bunch of effort in about 40 seconds, but I was finally able to pass and catch him. 1 down, 3 to go. So it's the Chosen One, solo in the front. He's being chased by the accountant and the Colonel. I'm not going to be able to get the Chosen One, but maybe the others. As it turned out, it wasn't even close. The Chosen One came in first, the accountant jumped away from the Colonel to take second, and I rolled in at fourth. After I traversed that climb in what is for me a semi-respectable 5:15, it's time for our gut-wrenching ride on the way back. With the KOM out of the way, I'm starting to feel a little friskier, so now I'm looking for an opportunity to attack. And here I go. The Colonel was at the front pulling all this time, but, being in the great form that he is, jumped away from the pack and was the first one to get on my wheel. He had started his pull right before the pack started to get up to us, and when they did, the Chosen One countered us. The Colonel, again, being in great form that he is, jumped away from me and got on the Chosen One's wheel. I figured most of those behind me that just bridged up were not looking forward to doing another bridge, so then I figured I had to go and pull the pack up to reconnect. I didn't want these two to get away too far because then it'd be really hard to get them back in. It just wasn't the Chosen One and myself that were trying to kill each other. The Ox wanted to have a little fun too. I'm not jumping after him. The Chosen One's not jumping after him, but the Colonel's going after him, so we're going on the Colonel's wheel. The Ox maintained a good gap until the low-grade quarry climb started, in which the Chosen One chose to attack. I had to go after him, and that's not an easy endeavor to do. After I get on his wheel and recover for a bit, I see if I can create my own gap, so I go to the front, apply more power in hopes of causing a split. Looking at the shadows on my right, a split's not happening, so I'm hoping to keep the speed up enough so no one counters me. Someone counters me, and it's the Chosen One. No way I can close that gap, Best thing I could do is keep up the speed and hope no one counters me, because this is the point where I usually can get dropped on these small little hills at the top. Just like this. They all go by me. I'm pretty much redlining. Last guy says, "Come on, jump on my wheel. This is it." I knew that's it, but I can't jump on his wheel. The group was a bit knackered, which allowed me 90 seconds later to reconnect. We were all now starting to conserve for that final Willow Hill leading into the final sprint. Even though I'm not a sprinter, I was feeling good, so I wanted to give it a go. At about 500 meters out, the ox attacks, and a couple gets on his wheel, and I get on the accountant's wheel. This is turning into one fast lead out. I figure I may be good for about 100 meters, so I'm hoping no one comes around and boxes me in. Well, I should also worry about everyone being faster than me, too. The chosen one, followed by the newspaper man, go by me on my left. I'm not able to get on the wheel, but the accountant does. I now try to get on the accountant's wheel, but I don't do a very good job at that. I pass the ox as he's redlined from his attack and lead out. And I finished with another fourth. Since the monsters of Midway weren't out there, even though we had two of the goon squad, I did okay. Okay, I gotta get to work now. You know, comment, like, subscribe, Cycling Greek, yada yada yada.